All right, all right, all right. We're back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave as usual. I'm your host, Mark Pierce. I think you all know what today is, right? Got my jacket. That's how you know. Today must be Friday. It's not just Friday, right? You're going to say it with me. You're going to bring that in from the gut. It's, say it with me, OCTANE Friday. Yep, you got it. Everyone loves OCTANE Friday. I know it. I know you love it, right? So what do we got going on today? June 12th, right? Well, today we have a birthday. His name is Chris DeGarmo. Do you know who Chris DeGarmo is? You probably don't, but he's a founding member of the band Queensryche, and I love the band Queensryche. You can probably guess that. I've got that poster right there. Love those posters. That one and Megadeth. Giant Subway posters. Hard to come by. Got several of those in the house. They're just so much fun. Those are great. We got a lot of Queensryche swag around here. I'll show that to you in a minute. Anyway, Queensryche, who are they? I could spend a lot of time on Queensryche. Try to keep it short and sweet. When I say short, well, it's got to be at least 5 minutes, right? So, formed in 1980 in Bellevue, Washington. Where is Bellevue, Washington? It is just across Lake Washington to the east of Seattle, not to be confused with Bainbridge Island to the west. We got ties in Bainbridge Island, that's why I mention it. Formed in 1980, formerly the band called The Mob. They put out an EP in 1981, a demo. That floats around, and they do release that EP in 1983. They're picking up steam around there, getting a good reputation as a good live metal band. And basically, Jeff Tate was floating around from another band, and once they get that EP out, he stays with them. That EP sells unusually high for an independent record. And in 1983, they opened up for the band called Zebra. Who remembers Zebra? If you had MTV in the early 1980s, they had a hit. It was called Who's Behind the Door. That's a good song. Anyway, someone's in that crowd from EMI. They took the unusual step of signing them. I can't even believe this story. I don't know. I'd have to read more about it. But they signed them to a 15-year, 7-album contract on the spot. I mean, I don't know if they made any money off of any of that stuff or if they renegotiated or what, but that's an insane contract. Based on that, they re-release the demo again. That does pretty well. That demo has some good songs on it. Queen of the Reich and Lady Wore Black. Love that song, Lady Wore Black. Based on that, they spend their time opening up for some pretty big bands around 83. They open up for Quiet Riot. They open up for Dio. And they open up for Twisted Sister, so they're starting to get a lot of traction. They put out their first full-length album. It's called Warning. That went to number 61 on the Billboard charts. That is a great album as well. Love songs off there. Title track, Warning, NM 151, and Take Hold of the Flame. Right? So, at that point, they open up for their Kiss. They open up for Iron Maiden. They're starting to pick up. And in 1988, they put out what is called the greatest heavy metal opera of all time, called Operation Mindcrime. Got that right here. I was not listening to Queensryche in 1980s, in 88 or before. There's Mindcrime here, deluxe set. Who remembers the singles? Anyone remember a single? A single? Right? You could buy one song on one side, one on another, on a cassette. That might be one of my only singles that I own right there. Also have, as I said, plenty of swag around here. There's vinyl, gold, pretty cool. Anyway, so Mindcrime, basically classic American tale of a heroin-addicted guy who gets brainwashed and recruited by an underground group that convinces him to become an assassin, and in the while he falls in love with a former lady of the night who has become a nun. I mean, it's basic your basic American apple pie story, right? That's a great record. If you've never heard that before, give it a shot. But you have to listen to the whole thing because it tells a whole story. I had just been introduced to that record when in 1990 they basically put out their most commercially successful record, Empire. Everybody remembers that record. Why? Because of Silent Lucidity. People come into the record store and say, hey, I want that new song by Pink Floyd. That is a great record. That has 11 great songs on it. I do love that record, but they were basically from the metal crowds, pretty much deemed sellouts, pretty much like when Metallica put out that Black Album. But anyway, that's a great record. And then after that, not as much commercial success. People start leaving the band, coming back. They sue each other. They tour separately as Queensryche. Same old story. Again, got to see them around 7 times. Was just really obsessed with that. Their album, Rage for Order, 1986. Great record. Walk in the Shadows, I Dream in Infrared, Gonna Get Close to You, London. They do a great cover of Simon and Garfunkel. And I think it's on one of those records. Which one is it on? Anyway, Scarborough Fair. I think that's on the poster right there. Yeah. If you haven't heard Queensryche's version of Scarborough Fair, give it a listen. It's actually quite good. Jeff Tate can sing. He can hit those high notes. It's pretty amazing. So, we're in at 6 minutes. We're going to cut it now. We'll get back to Queensryche another time, but what am I going to pick? It's not going to be from Empire. We're going to go back to the beginning. You got to give this a listen if you like old school 80s metal. Give it a shot. Jeff Tate can absolutely kill it on the high notes. So, we are at Take Hold of the Flame by Queensryche. Crank it up to 11. It's a great song. If you haven't heard it, listen to it. That's your Octane Friday song of the day. Enjoy, and see you on the flip side.